guys are wondering what captains do when it's too rough offshore, they play with their toy boats. It's pretty cool, right? And I'm Doug. Today we have a lot of stuff to go through, so let's get through our sponsors. And by the way, welcome to the silliest internet-based yacht show on the internet. Marine Data Solutions. Take a look at the blender. The blender will take everything you have on board and turn it into seamless streaming internet. No problems, no hassles. Hargrave Custom Yachts. The middle word being custom, they'll build anything you want. They'll build a gold-plated bathtub if you want, or a 200-foot mega yacht. ITS, that stands for Interior Technology Services. If you need your carpets certified, these are the people. They will also do the walls, the cushions, any soft fabrics in the boat. Remember, ITS is your #1 choice to get your carpets and interior cleaned. MPT, Maritime Professional Training. This is the one school where you can go from your first STCW all the way up to Unlimited Master. Never forget, one school, unlimited possibilities. And we all love our sponsors. Please follow them and hold on. And now we're going into yacht industry news. Give me the newspaper. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, never forget, we support the $160 a day rate for day workers. I mean, how can they afford to buy stuff like this? They need practice. We need them. Pay the munchkins. Pay them. Come on, it's pretty cool anyway. Be somebody's hero. All right, in other yacht industry news, the Bottom Line Scholarship. Please do not forget the Bottom Line Scholarship. That is a deckhand, that's a stewardess, that's an engineer. We're gonna take you from wherever you came from. We're gonna plop you down in Fort Lauderdale. We're going to put you in crew housing. We're gonna get you trained up. We're gonna get you in crew placement, and then we're gonna get you on a yacht. It's all for free. All right, it's all for free. So I want to hear it in the comments what you guys think about all this, and more information to follow when we start picking out the applicants. I have gotten some people who go, I want to do this, and that's pretty cool. Okay, so last weekend was the Fort Lauderdale Air Show, and obviously I'm not out on my boat because it was a little bit, a little crazy with the wind and the weather. It's just a little bit rough, so decided not to forego the beach stuff. But that happens every year. Here's some blue angels flying by. We're going to find some blue angels. All right, now I want you guys to take a look at this.
Sarah and I are going to attempt to break the world record from New York City to Miami by boat. The current record is 19 hours and 17 minutes. It's going to be challenging, but Sarah and I think we can pull it off.
This husband and wife team, have made an announcement that in June 2023, they're going to try and break the New York to Miami speedboat run, and they're trying to do it in 19 hours. That's crazy. It takes Renaissance 3-4 days to get up there. They want to have breakfast in New York and they want to have dinner in Miami. Now, obviously, they have a really fast boat, so we're going to follow them a little bit more. And it's an outboard cat. Obviously, you can see that. We'll see if they actually do it. Okay, more yacht industry news. Congratulations, South Africa. I'm going to tell you why in a second. Kristen, I want to pronounce this right, it's going to be hard. Schaefer, a South African on a 36-foot boat, just won the solo around the world race on a 36-foot boat that she put together on her own. Congratulations, big congratulations. I'm not sure I would want to do this. What were some of the requirements of the race? The race was you can't pull in. She was underway for 235 days straight. You guys complain about a 1-week charter, okay? You cannot be on social media. You can have no communication with anybody other than race officials. You can't use GPS. You can't use anything electronic navigation. It was all celestial. That is a huge accomplishment, Kristen. Congratulations. I'm quite sure most yacht crew would not have succeeded in that. All right, a little bit of fun news. So I appreciate everybody watching, and sometimes people get a little heated on the stuff that I say, and I didn't get an argument, but I was talking to some guy on another group who saw the show, and he's telling me what the guy said on the show, the bottom line, and I was like, okay, all right, and I'm like, no, actually, that's not what was said, and he said, this is what the guy said, and you can go take a hike. And I just said, well, actually, that guy was me. So it was kind of funny. You can see that. Anyway, that's about it for yacht industry news. Now we're going to go into tech talk. Dave is a Southern regional rep for AMSoil products. What's that mean? That means synthetic oil, that means oil analysis. He'll even put the little things on your engine, so it's easy peasy to get your oil tested. Check out the safety of your engine with Dave from AMSOIL. Now, this week in Tech Talk, actually this month in Tech Talk is April 2023. Now, maybe you guys aren't aware of it, but the Titanic sank in April 2012. And I'm not going to bore you guys with Titanic trivia because it's been done to death and there's movies out there. If you ever have a question, did the boat sink, just watch the movie. But I'm going to give you guys a little bit because this is kind of an anniversary. Now, the sister ship to the Titanic is called the Olympic. And right after this happens, everybody was scared to death. If you could imagine the whole nation refusing to get on an airplane because, you know, a whole bunch of planes crashed. That's the way it was in 1912. Whoops. That's the way it was in 1912. So literally the Olympic was loading up to do its run across the Atlantic, and 26 crew members decided they're not going to go. They were scared to death. Scared to death to the point where they walked off the boat. They were charged with mutiny. The crew of the Olympic was charged with mutiny right after the Titanic sank because they were petrified to get underway on that boat. It was the engineering team, the ones down below, and we all know that those guys had the worst of it. They tried to get non-union crew on the boat, but that was very hard to do. Long story short, the Olympic never set sail. Everybody, the day before they were supposed to leave, had to find another way to get to New York. Now, everybody was scared to death of sinking out in the ocean, so a lot of people came up with some funky plans. Take a look at this one. This is where they said that the whole top deck, all the decks on the top of the boat are buoyant, and if the boat went down, the decks would just float to the top and it would hold 2,000 or 3,000 people. They were coming up with all kinds of things to try and make everybody feel better. Matter of fact, even though they were all leaky, and that's another reason on the Olympic, they were all leaky and kind of rotted, they tripled up on the lifeboats on the Olympic 2 weeks after the Titanic, but that didn't satisfy everybody. The boat never sailed. Okay, we're moving into bottom feeders. Give me the shark. Okay, bottom feeders. We got a few bottom feeders.
Every time I see it on social media, I gotta watch the show, man. Every boat show, you guys are out. You guys are the best, man. You guys just kick it right.
We got a few bottom feeders. Let me get this straight. Okay, so we did an episode at the Coast Guard Station, had a lot of response from that. Brian Betancourt, who is a paramedic, Fort Lauderdale Rescue, and I guess a reservist, a Coast Guard officer at the station, said, great job, thanks for that, thank you for watching. Dan McDowell, he is the president of McDowell Landscaping Tree Service, kind of makes sense, same last name, from Dennis, Massachusetts. He said Coast Guard's always great people, they're always friendly. But anyway, most importantly, Dan, thanks for watching. Laura A is the owner of Divers Underground, and that is in, I'm gonna mess this up, it's gonna be in Playa del Carmen, Mexico somewhere. Anyway, she's a fan of the show. Thank you guys, and thank everybody for watching. We got some in Massachusetts this week, we got Mexico, everywhere. We do this show for you guys, and it's really important. Now, actually, wait, one more thing. So we had a bottom feeder a couple weeks ago. His name's Greg, he's a captain. And we said, send us a picture of what you're driving. So here, he sent this in. He is pushing, he's a captain of a tug, pushing the Charleston dredge. We all know, if you guys have been pulling into Charleston, about that monstrosity out there. Well, here's the captain. He's also a fan of the show. So when you pass by, give Greg a big shout out. He's on the tug. All right, we are now moving into Crew Corner. Let's do Crew Corner. Crewhaven1501.com. If you're just entering town and need a place to stay, this is the place to go. If you're even in a refit in a boatyard, they have housing right next to all the major yards. Check out Crewhaven at crewhaven1501.com. Never forget, monkey butlers, pink Rolls Royces, bouncy houses, and these houses do not drag in the middle of the night. Okay, so moved inside because it started pouring rain out. But anyway, I love being in the Bottom Line Worldwide headquarters, AKA my bar. I mean, I like it. You know, there's alcohol and there's funny hats to wear and stuff like that. But what we're gonna talk about today in Crew Corner is, what about hiring friends and family? Well, a lot of people do it.
How about no?
So my opinion is it's probably not a good idea to hire friends and family on board the vet.
You told me you'll get me a job. 영어대 받았은 거 싫었대. Tavernă țineți vă așteaptă.
Okay, maybe it's on a case-by-case basis. So anyway, yeah, okay. On the other hand, there could be situations where it would work out. I think the most important thing when hiring friends and family is as a captain, generally the captain's the guy that's going to be doing this. Maybe he wants his wife on board as a chef, or maybe some of his kids as deckhands or mates or whatever. I think the important thing here is to remember that you work for the owner and you need to keep the boat's best interests as a top priority. That means this person you're going to hire, are they the most qualified person to be on the boat, or are they getting a job because they know you? If you're hiring, let's take a chef, for example. Your wife is a chef because you don't want to be away from home, and we all know that she's not really that great of a chef, maybe more of a cook level, but you're paying her chef's wages. You're doing a disservice to, if you're charter, to the charter guests, to the owners, to everybody who walks on the boat. A lot of owners put up with it because maybe they think you're a rock star, so they'll just kind of look the other way. That doesn't mean that they're happy about it. Hiring friends generally kind of goes sideways. Either you get a really good employee, but you lose the friendship. And when you hire a friend, it's almost impossible to do. Family, okay, let's talk about kids. I think it's great that maybe one of your kids wants to move into your industry and maybe even on your boat, but children at this age, let's say 18 to 23, 24, have to find their own way, and being with daddy or mommy is not going to work. Parents also have a tendency to push their kids and elevate them faster than they probably should be. In other words, we want all our children to succeed, but let's say getting an 18 or 19 or 20-year-old a captain's license and calling him the first mate, the first officer, put him in charge, put a whole bunch of stripes on his shoulder, is probably doing him a big disservice. When somebody gets a captain's license, the only thing that license is, it's a license to legally be allowed to operate a vessel. It is no gauge of experience or no gauge of knowledge or no gauge of the ability to do that job. It's just like getting, you can't drive without a driver's license. You can't run a boat without a captain's license, merchant mariner's document. By no means does this mean you're a captain. So putting this into a child's hands, I say child 18 to 22, 23 years old, it's going to go to their head and they're going to think they're a captain. And what's going to happen is they're going to skip some valuable steps. Instead of walking around saying I'm a captain, they need to be a mate. They need to be a deckhand. We all went through it. Just think of it that way. Think of all the experience you gained moving up the chain of command. Do not deny your family member that. I think that's it for the bottom line. It's a subject, it's out there. I'll leave you with this. I hired a relief captain for Renaissance. He put his wife on board as a chef, severely unqualified, and long story short, after a 1-week charter, I had to give all the charter money back to the clients because she just was not a good, chef. But he was bragging it was great to have his wife on board. He was happy. So that's a classic example of not keeping the owner's best interest at heart. I'm Doug. We'll have a co-host sooner or later, and that's the bottom line. You guys stay safe out there, and I'll see you next week.